Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we dive into The Rift by Alex Perry, a seasoned reporter for Time and Newsweek with over 15 years of travel and research in Africa and Asia. The Rift is a groundbreaking narrative that shatters the dated image of Africa as a continent solely defined by poverty, war, corruption, and its dependence on the West. With Perry's compelling storytelling, the book unveils the transformative power of modern farming methods, solar and mobile technologies, and a new wave of leadership that's reshaping Africa's future. Alex Perry brings his specialized knowledge and first-hand experiences to the forefront, offering readers an in-depth look at the continent's emerging faces. His previous works, including Falling Off the Edge and Lifeblood, have cemented his reputation as a thoughtful and informed author, capable of presenting complex subjects in an accessible manner. The Rift is an essential read for investors keen on exploring new opportunities within Africa's flourishing markets. It also serves as a crucial corrective for anyone still holding on to outdated perceptions of Africa as a land of unending conflict and famine. Join us as we explore how Africa is moving beyond its past to forge a brighter, self-sufficient future. The Rift, A New Africa Breaks Free. Introduction. Discover Africa Unveiled. Beyond the Western Misconceptions. Picture Africa through the lens often presented by Western media, a continent riddled with wars, famines, and corruption, seemingly in dire need of salvation. This imagery, deeply etched into the collective consciousness, offers a narrow and skewed perspective of a vibrant continent bursting at the seams with potential. Contrary to the tales of doom, Africa is neither a victim in awaiting rescue nor a damsel in distress. It is in reality a treasure trove of solutions eagerly knocking at the doors of global challenges. Dive into an exploration that reveals Africa as a cornerstone for the future. Here we dismantle the myths, uncovering how Africa's rich resources and pioneering innovations stand poised to address global issues. You're about to embark on a journey that unfolds Africa's significant promises, from the cornucopia of its fertile lands capable of nourishing the entire world, to the groundbreaking mobile banking revolution spearheading economic transformation, and the leap towards renewable energy securing a sustainable future. Let's navigate through the essential insights that challenge prevailing misconceptions and illuminate Africa's path as a beacon of hope and a powerhouse for innovation. Part 1. Political Agendas. Over Human Lives. The Tragic Oversight in African Aid. In a world where the pulse of international news rarely skips a beat, the persistent struggles within Africa against war and famine become a recurring narrative. Yet, the staggering crisis that unfolded in July 2011 in southern Somalia might not have captured the global audience's attention as it deserved. During this dark period, Somalia was clenched in the deadly grip of what would be remembered as one of its most devastating famines. Imagine the desperation as nearly 3 million people, their bodies emaciated and spirits broken, trudged towards Mogadishu, the nation's capital. They were in pursuit of a semblance of hope, a chance for survival promised by the emergency aid from the United Nations. Tragically, across that year, the famine claimed the lives of 300,000 souls, leaving behind a trail of grief, predominantly among children and the elderly. Among these harrowing tales of survival and loss, the story of Kalima Adan stands out. A mother engulfed in an abyss of sorrow, having lost 3 of her 9 children on the perilous journey to Mogadishu. The recount of her 7-year-old son Umar's death within the tender sanctuary of her arms is a somber reminder of the unforgiving brutality of famine. This leads us to question, why do such tragedies continue to unravel unmitigated? The unsettling answer lies in the complex entanglement of Western political interests, particularly in the context of the global war on terror, which significantly hinders the efficacy of aid directed towards Africa. Tony Burns, an Australian aid worker present in Mogadishu during the famine, sheds light on a particularly disheartening reality. The United States, entwined in its strategic maneuvers within the war on terror, chose to block all aid to southern Somalia, despite urgent appeals from humanitarian bodies. The motive behind this dire decision was the presence of al-Shabaab, a militant group deemed a foe in the terror spectrum, which had a history of intercepting and exploiting the aid resources meant for the suffering populace. In a prioritization of political objectives over human lives, these actions, or inactions, conducted under the banner of combating terror, inadvertently led to the unnecessary demise of thousands of Somalis. This tragedy stands as a poignant illustration of the grave consequences born from allowing geopolitical strategies to eclipse the fundamental need for human compassion and aid. Part 2. The Limits of Western Influence. George Clooney and the Quest for Peace in Africa. George Clooney, known globally for his charismatic presence on and off the silver screen, embodies more than the quintessential Hollywood heartthrob. Diving deeper into his off-cam pursuits reveals Clooney as a fervent humanitarian dedicated to ameliorating the crises in Sudan. His intervention was not just a fleeting celebrity endorsement, but a committed advocacy that significantly contributed to the historical milestone of South Sudan's independence. With relentless vigor, Clooney took to the media, leveraging his celebrity status to spotlight the cause. His efforts stretched beyond the limelight as he engaged directly with political heavyweights, including President Obama and Congress, championing the freedom of South Sudan. Clooney's dedication saw him journeying annually to Juba, immersing himself in the thick of the struggle, aiming to magnify the atrocities inflicted by the Sudanese government on southern rebels. In an unprecedented move, he even financed the rental of a satellite, pioneering a surveillance strategy that laid bare the movements of Sudanese government troops, stripping them of any veils to conceal their transgressions. Clooney was on the ground, amongst the jubilant crowds in Juba, witnessing the overwhelming decision for independence in January 2011, a testament to his efforts and the indomitable spirit of the South Sudanese people. Nonetheless, the dawn of independence did not herald an era of peace for South Sudan. The nascent nation found itself entangled in ethnic rivalries, primarily between the Dinka and the Nuer, spiraling into a brutal conflict by December 2013. The discord culminated in a grotesque massacre of Nuer men by Dinka officials, showcasing the harrowing depth of the division. Despite the eventual, albeit fragile, peace arrangement sealed in April 2016, the journey underscored a poignant lesson. External interventions, even those propelled by noble intentions and substantial influence, face intrinsic limitations in engineering lasting peace. This revelation beckons a reflection on the internal dynamics of African societies and the intrinsic power they hold for self-determination. As we pivot to the following insights, the narrative unfurls the unfolding process of intracontinental peacebuilding, a beacon of hope rooting for Africa's capacity to forge its destiny, untethered from external saviors. Part 3. Unlocking Africa's Agricultural Renaissance, a pathway to eradicating poverty and nourishing the world. Africa's journey towards self-sufficiency and global contribution has encountered numerous hurdles, yet in the vast and fertile expanse of its lands lies a beacon of hope: agriculture. This realm holds untapped power, not only to uplift Africa from the depths of poverty, but also to offer a viable solution to the global hunger crisis. History and economic analyses consistently demonstrate that agriculture is a cornerstone for the development of wealth and prosperity within nations. Drawing lessons from the global stage, the International Food Policy Research Institute highlights a compelling correlation. A modest 1% increase in farmers' income can precipitate a significant reduction in extreme poverty, ranging from 0.6% to a remarkable 1.8%. This principle is vividly exemplified by China's transformative journey from 1978 to 2011, where consistent annual growth in agricultural income by 7% miraculously slashed poverty levels from 31% to a mere 2%. Poised on the brink of a similar revolution, Africa boasts an impressive 1.46 billion acres of arable land, surpassing the combined total of the rest of the world. This sheer abundance of cultivable soil positions the continent as a potential global breadbasket, capable of eradicating hunger far beyond its borders. Transitioning from subsistence to commercial agriculture, Africa is gradually redefining its agricultural landscape. Ethiopia stands as a shining example of this transformative shift. Traditionally, Ethiopian farmers' ambitions were stifled by the risks associated with increased production, where a single failed crop could spell financial ruin. The narrative began to change in 2007, spearheaded by the visionary efforts of Eleni Gabremadin, a prominent Ethiopian economist. Gabremadin established the Ethiopian Commodities Exchange, an innovative platform designed to catalyze the agricultural sector. This central trade organization brought reliability and transparency to the market, employing inspectors to ensure produce quality and setting fair and predictable prices for crops. Crucially, it leveraged mobile phone technology to disseminate vital market information directly to farmers, enabling them to make informed decisions about future production. This newfound clarity and security encouraged banks to extend loans to farmers, fostering an environment ripe for investment and expansion. The results were remarkable. Between 2006 and 2013, Ethiopia witnessed an astonishing 7.8% surge in agricultural production, encapsulating the transformative power of embracing mass production agriculture. Africa stands at a crossroads, with its bountiful agricultural potential as the key to unlocking a future free from poverty and hunger. As we witness countries like Ethiopia trailblazing this path, the continent's agricultural renaissance emerges not just as a possibility, but as an unfolding reality. Part 4. The Renaissance of Lagos, from slums to sustainable urbanity. The prevailing imagery of urban Africa often paints a grim picture, one where destitution and squalor overshadow the vibrancy and resilience of its communities. Yet, beneath the surface of these daunting images lies a narrative of transformation and hope that's reshaping the continent's urban landscape. Lagos, Nigeria's bustling metropolis, once epitomized the harsh realities of modern Africa's urban challenges. In 2009, the city seemed to be on the brink of collapse, suffocated by the sheer magnitude of its 20 million inhabitants' struggles. With a staggering 65% living in extreme poverty, without access to basic amenities such as running water, electricity, or sewage systems, the outlook for Lagos was bleak. However, the winds of change began to sweep through Lagos with the election of Governor Babatunde Fashola in 2009. Armed with a vision to reimagine and revitalize Lagos into a city of hope and progress, Fashola initiated a comprehensive reconstruction effort that, within a few years, dramatically transformed the city's fortunes. Remarkably, access to clean water soared to cover 2/3 of the population, a significant leap from the mere 1/3 in 2009. The city fortified itself against the threat of flooding. Green spaces and public parks began to flourish where waste once reigned, and the streets were reborn with new lighting, symbolizing the city's newfound vibrancy. Beyond the physical makeover, the transformation of Lagos ignited an economic revival. An impressive tally of 42,000 government jobs sprang up, infusing life into the local economy and offering newfound stability to its citizens. Yet, Fashola's ambitious endeavors didn't halt at the city's core. The slums, lingering on the city's fringes, beckoned for attention. In an inspired move, Fashola enlisted the expertise of Peruvian poverty specialist Fernando de Soto to address this challenge. Their collaboration marked the inception of a groundbreaking initiative to grant property rights to the residents of these slums. This decisive act not only brought order to the erstwhile chaotic slums, but also fostered a sense of ownership and responsibility among the inhabitants, The transformative power of property rights was evident. Burglaries plummeted by an astounding 90%, and instances of murder and assault were halved. Moreover, the newly minted property owners contributed to bolstering the city's economy further by becoming taxpayers. The metamorphosis of Lagos from a city ensnared in the throes of urban decay to a beacon of sustainable urban development stands as a testament to the potential for transformative change in Africa's urban centers. Through visionary leadership and innovative policies, Lagos is leading the charge in rewriting the narrative of urban Africa, firmly placing it on a path towards resilience, prosperity, and sustainability. Part 5. Redefining African Leadership. Emir Lamido Sanusi's Crusade Against Corruption. In a world where stereotypes often cloud our judgment, the portrayal of African leaders in international media and entertainment skews towards the negative, painting a picture of a continent led by corrupt and authoritarian figures. Yet, this narrow viewpoint does a disservice to the complexity and diversity of leadership across Africa. Among the continent's rulers, there are visionaries whose endeavors are steering their communities towards progress and integrity, far removed from the realm of tyranny. One such luminary is Lamido Sanusi, the Emir of Kano in northern Nigeria, a figure who defies the conventional image of African leadership. When the author encountered Sanusi, he was introduced to a distinguished nobleman, proficient in English and French, whose educational background spans economics, philosophy, and law. Sanusi's unwavering commitment to combating corruption eventually led to his dismissal from a prestigious position at the Central Bank of Nigeria, a testament to his principled stand against unethical practices within the country's financial corridors of power. His bold denouncement of the Nigerian petroleum minister's unethical leasing arrangements, a scandal where the minister profited from leasing planes from her private company for official trips, showcases his fearless dedication to rooting out corruption, regardless of the personal or professional cost. Losing his position at the central bank did little to dampen Sanusi's resolve. As the leader of Kano, he continues to channel his efforts into creating a prosperous future for Nigeria, leveraging technological innovation to revolutionize the country's financial system. His advocacy for a biometric system in all monetary transactions is poised to transform how Nigerians engage with their economy. By integrating fingerprint technology, Sanusi envisions a secure and transparent financial landscape where cash withdrawals and in-store payments are executed through fingerprint recognition, making fraud, theft, and forgery virtually obsolete. This pioneering initiative not only promises to enhance security and efficiency in financial transactions, but also aims to strike at the heart of corruption by ensuring every transaction can be directly traced to an individual. Sanusi's forward-thinking strategy illustrates a broader ambition to cleanse Nigeria of the corrupt practices that have hindered its development. Emir Lamido Sanusi's story is a powerful reminder that leadership in Africa can defy stereotypes and champion change. His blend of traditional authority with modern technological acumen presents a beacon of hope for those seeking to uplift their nations through integrity, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Part 6. Revolutionizing Connectivity. How mobile phones catalyze economic growth and banking innovation in Africa. Once upon a time, the advent of radio technology brought distant sounds of music and voices into the remote corners of the world, bridging gaps and connecting isolated communities to the broader cultural mosaic. Today, a similar, albeit far more transformative, revolution is unfolding across Africa, thanks to the proliferation of mobile phones. Imagine a continent where, not too long ago, only a handful of individuals had access to landline telephones. Fast forward to 2015, and you'll find a staggering 1 billion cell phones in operation throughout Africa, a quantum leap in connectivity that has effectively plugged the continent into the global grid. The implications of this cellular revolution extend far beyond the luxury of making calls or sending texts. Cell phone technology has emerged as a potent catalyst for economic growth, part and parcel of life in both bustling cities and remote locations. By facilitating communication over vast and often unforgiving terrains, cell phones have streamlined operations, reduced time wastage, and fostered collaborative ventures, thereby bolstering productivity and propelling economic advancement. Research from the London Business School underscores this impact, revealing that a mere 10% increase in mobile phone ownership correlates with a notable 0.6 to 1.2% uplift in a nation's GDP. But perhaps the most groundbreaking consequence of this telecommunications boom is the advent of mobile banking, an innovation that has redefined financial transactions across the continent. With texting as the most affordable and popular means of mobile communication in Africa, Kenya's telecommunications behemoth, Safaricom, seized the opportunity to pioneer a text-based money transfer system. This initiative empowered Kenyans to deposit cash with a Safaricom agent who would then credit the amount to a recipient's mobile account. The recipient could then conduct transactions or forward funds to anyone with a cell phone, secured by a PIN. By 2013, this method had transcended mere utility to become a financial lifeline. People began using their mobile accounts as de facto savings accounts, a critical service for many who found themselves marginalized by the traditional banking sector. This paradigm shift in banking was not only emblematic of innovation, but also of financial inclusion. By 2015, the success of mobile banking in Africa had spawned 50 such services across the continent, compelling Western countries to reconsider their own financial systems. Africa's mobile phone revolution thus symbolizes a leap towards economic empowerment, technological innovation, and an inclusive financial future, reshaping the narrative of a continent on the move. Part 7. Shining a Light on Prosperity. How solar energy is liberating rural Africa from the darkness of poverty. Imagine life where the setting sun ushers not just darkness, but a cessation of productivity, learning, and growth. This has been the stark reality for countless rural and impoverished communities across Africa, where the absence of electricity casts a long shadow over daily existence. Yet, recent developments in solar technology are beginning to brighten the horizon, turning the page on a chapter of dependency and stagnation. Access to electricity, or the lack thereof, is more than an inconvenience. It's a formidable barrier that cements the cycle of poverty. The story of Gladys Nange, a 39-year-old mother and farmer from Kokete, a village nestled near the Kenya-Uganda border, poignantly illustrates this struggle. Kokete's isolation from the national grid spelled more than just nights steeped in darkness. It limited educational opportunities, as Gladys's children labored under fading twilight to complete their homework, often resulting in poor academic performance. Moreover, Gladys's necessity to trek 5 kilometers just to charge a mobile phone and ascertain crop prices encapsulates the undue burden imposed by the energy deficit. Francis Morogo, the village chief, acknowledges the profound impact of this electricity void, noting that it has stifled the aspirations and mobility of Kokete's residents, leaving university education and broader opportunities as distant dreams. Enter the transformative potential of solar energy, offering a beacon of hope and autonomy for rural communities. Gladys Nange's participation in a pilot project, spearheaded by Cambridge University, marked a pivotal turn. With the installation of a modest solar panel on her home, Gladys now harnesses the sun's rays to power 2 lamps and a mobile phone charger, shattering her family's nightly bond with darkness. This mobile solar kit, emblematic of practical and ecological ingenuity, is not just accessible but affordable, with a monthly payment scheme of merely $1.20. Such initiatives are lighting the path toward not just illumination but empowerment, enabling families like Gladys's to extend their productive hours, improve their children's educational outcomes, and embark on ventures like electrified poultry hatcheries that were previously inconceivable. As solar technology proliferates across the continent, it promises to lift entire communities out of the poverty trap, catalyzing a new era of self-reliance, economic vitality, and sustainable development. In this dawning age of solar empowerment, Africa's rural heartlands are finding innovative ways to break free from the shackles of darkness, embracing a brighter, more prosperous future under the sun. Final summary. Africa, a continent rich in diversity and potential, is often misrepresented through a lens that focuses predominantly on its struggles. Yet, this narrative falls short of acknowledging the full spectrum of Africa's reality, a reality marked by innovation, growth, and a relentless pursuit of progress. Africa is not a monolith of conflicts, despotism, or poverty. It is a vibrant landscape where challenges become the seeds of revolution and change. From groundbreaking advancements in mobile banking and agriculture to the transformative power of solar energy and the compelling examples of dedicated leadership, Africa is charting a path of development that not only addresses its unique needs but also contributes valuable insights to the global community. This emerging story of Africa encourages a re-evaluation of entrenched perceptions and invites the world to recognize the continent's potential as a source of inspiration and innovation. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.